name that instrument. It is the kora, and its greatest exponent, Toumani Diabate, will be here to talk and to play. All of that's to come. Toumani Diabate is one of the most celebrated musicians in his home country, Mali, but his reputation has spread around the world. His instrument is the kora. It's a kind of West African harp, and he proudly boasts that he represents, get this, the 71st generation of kora players in his family. Despite his love of tradition, he's collaborated with Western pop musicians, including Damon Albarn and Bjork. He's just released his second solo album, and he's currently performing in London. And he joins me now. Welcome, thank you for coming in. And this is the kora.
The kora, thank you.
It looks like a sort of African guitar, but it sounds much more like a harp.
The kora is a harp lute and the 21 strings, and made by calabash. It's the calabash and cow skin.
That's right.
Yeah.
Cow skin.
Yeah, and that's the bridge to all the strings, and the fishing line are the strings.
The music that you play on this is extremely complicated. I mean, it sounded to me a little bit like, almost like sort of, you know, Bach or Baroque Western music.
Well, I call just this music the modern music. Modern music, because, you know, most of the music like jazz or blues, they're from Africa, and jazz and blues, they are the beginning of many music, so I call it the modern music. It's not really complicated. This music has a story, geography, legend, and yeah.
And so how did you end up playing with Western pop musicians? That must have been a strange jump.
Well, thank God, music doesn't have any border, you know. And you don't need to speak English or speak Mandinka to play with a Mandinka people or play. And it's lucky also. And I just call that music from the heart. It's a
71 generations. That takes you back to the early Middle Ages or something in your family with this instrument.
From father to son, and it's between, you know, it's 700 years ago stories talking about, really.
One less happy thing that happened to you this week was the withdrawal of a video game called Little Big Planet. Now, you'd played the music on that, and you'd been singing, and you'd sung part of the Quran, and Sony decided this was extremely dangerous, and they had to withdraw the. Did that disappoint you?
No, it's fine. People will get it very soon. The music is going to be on the game without the voice, you know, so they're going to have only the music. And it's not just because of the game that I composed this song. I was playing this song, you know, more than 10 years ago with my band Symmetric Orchestra, and we recorded 2004.
So maybe they were just being a little bit too,
yeah, well,
a little bit too worried, because I mean, you've said that the Kora and the Quran are your two.
Yeah, well, this is quite normal. It's not against anybody or the Quran. It's normal in my country, and you can see that every day people, you know, is you know, playing and talking about the Quran. It's just to it's on good intention, you know. It's not a bad intention using the Quran. So yeah.
All right. Well, we've seen this instrument. Later on, at the end of the program, we're going to hear what it sounds like. But for now, thank you very much indeed for joining us.
Thank you.
Toumani Diabate playing a piece from his latest album, Variations. But for now, goodbye.